Captivity is actually not caused by our circumstances, but our mind's reaction to those circumstances. It is not the occurrences of external events that impact our lives, but our reaction to those events. Many in captivity are so overwhelmed by their circumstances that they fail to see that their mind's preoccupation with it causes the captivity, not so much the circumstances they find themselves in. It is not money, religious views, or health that have us in captivity. The real issue is our response to those issues. I have depicted our captivity like this before, and like this. Here, the mind is outside captivity, and although this is where we are heading, for the purpose of explaining our captivity better, I will start this video off by including the mind inside the circle of captivity. Whether you fight your captivity with every fiber of your being, or whether you have become so accustomed to the prison you are in that you don't even recognize it, it makes no difference. Our carnal state has our mind firmly seized by the time we are born a second time. The captivity state of our mind is the real problem. The mind is the core of our being. Our minds control our bodies. The whole body is steered and regulated by signaling hormones and nerves from our brains. It governs our words, deeds, and all our bodily processes. And whatever the prison, and whatever our mind's response to it, all are in captivity by the time we receive new life. The solution is not to be removed from the prison, but to break its hold on our minds. To understand the deliverance of our minds, we need to understand its alliance with blood. The sovereign mind of man depends on blood to stay alive. Although the brain has authority over the pumping heart, it depends on it to stay alive and maintain that authority. The core reason behind our captivity is the mind's alliance with the blood-pumping heart. The mind's decision-making processes are influenced by the selfish nature of its desire to stay alive, and that life comes through the blood. This would be true for all of us. With survival, the mind's highest priority, captivity takes the second seat. It is more important to stay alive than to be concerned with the captivity. The exception is the small amount of people where the selfish nature to survive seems to be surpassed by an aversion to life. The revulsion for life is stronger than the yearning for it. Suicide is a gruesome reminder that the sovereignty of the mind is stronger than life itself. If anything, it proves that the mind has dominion over life, even though ongoing dominion depends on the blood. The point, however, is this: for most of us, the strong subconscious desire to stay alive influences our thinking processes. The love for survival leads to decisions that may impact negatively on others and ourselves. We could say the need for blood exceeds the love for truth. Once born again, this is supposed to change. Self-love needs to be redirected towards love for God, despite the impact this may have on self. This will become a reality once we allow our mind to align itself with Yahweh's thinking. With the potential of raging battles between flesh and spirit, with the mind caught up in between, I've often wondered why Yahweh didn't just give me a new mind. A mind that has an alliance with spirit from the beginning and no requirements to be delivered from carnal thinking. Why does he expect me to renew my mind? He made me a new spirit. Why not a new mind at the same time? A new mind wouldn't be me any longer, but someone else. My mind is me. If I want to get into heaven, I need to do so with my own mind, and the only way to do that is to align it with him. The same mind I was born with is the one I need to renew. Through mind renewal, heaven becomes the hope and earth the opportunity to bring that hope into reality. Yahweh wants to give me the option to enter heaven as me, not as someone else. He's prepared to give me everything that is required to achieve that. By supernaturally giving me his mind or a new mind would be defeating the purpose of the gospel altogether. Yahweh created me sovereign and unique, and that won't change. If the me who was born a few decades ago wants to be with my Creator, the same me needs to change, and that change is ultimately driven by my own thinking. I and only I have control over my thinking and no one else. To think differently is my responsibility, no one else's. Yahweh's aim is to bring me to the point where I could renew my mind without hindrance. To reach the point where we are of the same mind with the Messiah, in other words, to think the way he does. I am for no moment implying that adopting a new set of values gives us access to heaven. If that were the case, the rebirth would have been unnecessary. The real issue is not a new set of values. It is to surrender discernment. It is to hand over the reins of ethics to Yahweh by committing to a relationship in submission to His Son. The new birth makes us spiritual with the ability to connect with the Source, the Holy Spirit. For divine morals to guide our thinking, the stronghold of our thinking by our selfish nature needs to be broken. This stronghold is maintained by life through blood. The end of our captivity is the day Yeshua breaks the hold of blood life on our mind. With the flesh stronghold terminated, truth from Yahweh alone provides life. Yahweh's words become the source of life and the light of our path, which is our only hope to finally overcome the onslaught of the enemy through our physical senses. It allows alignment to divine thinking, deliverance from selfishness, and the prospect of a sinless life. The question, therefore, is how is this achieved? I answer this in the next video. God bless. As always, I leave a link to my book below and the link to the next video.